Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about, so you've hired your first employee. Now what? This can be both an exciting and scary time for you taking your business to the next level. So I completely understand where you're coming from, and I want you to know that you're not alone and that you can get through this process simply, easily, and that you're going to make some amazing differences in your business because of it. If you're new here, my name is Taylor Darcy from Think Legal, where I help you create the business of your dreams. So welcome. So let's get started. Number one thing that you want to do is make sure that you're doing the proper onboarding documents. Now, it's simply easier to read than it is to try to remember. You want to have the Internal Revenue Service W-4 tax withholding form. Now, this is also specific to California, so please comply with your local area's requirements as well. Don't think about this doesn't apply if you're not in California. Number one, you want to do, I already said that. The EDD State Disability Insurance Pamphlet, you have to give that, Form DE 2515. The EDD Paid Family Leave Pamphlet, Form DE 2511. The Department of Fair Employment and Housing Sexual Harassment Information Pamphlet, Form DFEH-185, or the equivalent. Workers' Compensation Information Pamphlet, the Notice of COBRA Rights, and the Notice of Rights of Victims of Domestic Violence, Sexual Assault, and Stalking. And that's required for employers of 25 or more. The next thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have in place, now this is technically before, but you're going to want to implement this while you're doing it, and this is really specific job training. You want to make sure that it is very clear through manuals, videos, whatever you've got to do, screen guided shots of how you want to do it, of how you want something done, that employees are getting the proper training. Some of the worst jobs I've ever had in my entire life are ones that have been, they just throw you into the mix and don't expect to give you any type of training whatsoever, even if they have experience in what you're asking them to do. And here's why. If you give them, if you take that experience and then you train them how you want to do it, you're going to be a whole lot less difficult. It's going to be a whole lot less likely you're going to be unhappy with their work product than if you give them no direction and then expect them to just simply rely on their experience to get the job done, because maybe it's not going to be done to either your specifications or to the quality of work that you're doing because they don't know. You know, I've said this repeatedly in my videos, but if it goes without saying, it usually goes better with saying. And so you really want to focus on giving your new employee the most help possible. The jobs that I've been the most successful at and that I've enjoyed the most have had like week-long training to give me, 8 hours a day, 5 days at least minimum, in order to give me the nitty-gritty and to help me walk through the most difficult portions of it and things that I might have struggled with or need help with, and having someone in that position. So take time out of your day to train someone right on how you want to do it, because I guarantee you'll be a lot happier with that employee if you're doing specific job training in specific ways. And make sure you also have an open door policy that if an employee is having difficulty with something, that they're able to come to you and talk to you to make sure that they can figure it out, or that they can get the guidance that they need to do their job correctly. Now, I am not suggesting that you do the work for them, nor am I suggesting that you micromanage or babysit them. That is not what I'm talking about, because in the end, if it's more work to have an employee than not to have an employee, then you should not have an employee. But what I'm talking about is by giving them the proper ways and steps of doing something, you're really going to give them the best chance for success. And they're going to end up delivering incredible results, because you're going to show them what that looks like, right? If you don't know what you're aiming for, then you don't know what you're going to get. And that's very true in employee situations. So if an employee doesn't have any clue of what's expected of them, or that here is the standard, then they might hit here and you'll be unhappy because you were expecting here. So it's always clear, it's always important to define expectations and then help the person meet those expectations. Giving them vague or ambiguous language to get them to within that, you're going to run the risk that they're going to misunderstand, they're going to feel abandoned, they're going to be frustrated, and they're going to give up before they can achieve mastery of the thing that you're expecting them to do. So that's number one, specific job training. The next thing you're going to want to work on is your company culture. And this comes from creating a work environment that your employee wants to come to, that likes to come to, and will do their best work. Remember, if you can get them to do the work for less money than it costs you to do it, then you want to keep them for as long as humanly possible and keep them happy. And part of that is keeping company culture positive, uplifting, and a growth mindset, helping them to understand that they aren't stuck in a position for the rest of the time that they work with you. They can grow and develop and do things that they want to do that help them grow as a person. And maybe that doesn't mean that they're going to change positions, but maybe it means that you're going to help them develop other things that will help them develop into whoever that they want to be. Some people are just happy with being whatever they are, and that's okay. So I'm saying the part of this is the company culture of growth isn't necessarily about from one position to another, but about who they are as human beings. And when they feel that you genuinely care about them, that you want them to succeed in their position and in their lives, they're going to be a lot better employees, and you're going to create this culture of amazing employees because they're going to feel that. And that starts with you as the business owner or you as the leader of the company, because people can feel it. People can sense that. One of the jobs that I did years and years ago was I started as a bank teller. This is, my gosh, it's been almost 20 years since I did that. Wow. Anyway, and the CEO, I'll never forget, brought us into his office. And back then I didn't really have the concept of what a CEO was or what it entailed being a CEO. But he brought us into his office, all of us. There was a group of us of 10, 15 tellers that had all started. And he said, you know, you guys are the rock stars. You guys are on the front lines helping them. So my job here is to make sure that you are treated the best that I can so that you represent this company to our members to the best of your ability. And that was the very first time I'd had that. I'd had other jobs before where I was just a peon. People didn't care what I did, the quality of who I was or what type of work product that and it really gave me a sense of purpose within the company. I felt needed. I felt wanted. And I ended up staying there for many years because I felt needed and wanted and valued. And that made a huge difference. And so that's what I defer to when I think about how to inspire a company culture that is meaningful, that's uplifting, that's something that you can do and be something better than yourself because you have people that are enabling you to be better than yourself. And that's part of that company culture. The next thing you want to provide is mentorship. Mentorship, as opposed to the broad stroke that a company culture is, have one-on-one time with your employees if you can, or have them in a position or have people in positions that can provide mentorship that aren't necessarily within their line of proverbial command. Okay. Like maybe someone is in accounting and they want to really move into management. Well, maybe you provide somebody that's outside of accounting that is in management to give them the work or to give them the mentorship to how to get there, to provide them that feeling of importance and needed. Employees that feel needed are always going to do a lot better work and higher quality work than employees that feel like they're worthless or that they're just, the bottom rung on the totem pole and they're going to get mistreated no matter what they do. So you really want to focus on giving them this company culture that, or I mean, mentorship that really helps them show that they're valued as a human being. And this positive, people respond to positivity significantly more than they respond to negativity. And so this mentorship is going to provide them with the opportunities they need in order to give their best, right? Whether it be in my work, if I hire a paralegal or a legal assistant, so that they aren't just feeling like an employee, they're feeling like someone who is a stakeholder in your business will represent you significantly better than someone who doesn't. The next factor or next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to provide continued and consistent feedback and reviews. Gone are the days where you provide an annual review and that's it. And a lot of this has to do with the way that our culture is shifting from mentorship or not mentorship, but reviews of an annual nature where, you work your butt off for a year and hope for the best. And you hope that you've done enough work during that year that you get that raise that you're expecting. We've moved more towards, and I'm not going to tell you how often to set your raises up for your employees, but the goal though is not just to keep your employees happy, but to give them the feedback to help them grow in their position, right? How are they doing? And that just really can't be achieved on an annual basis. It's not realistic to expect them to know how to improve if all you do is ever respond once a year, right? I mean, like if you're just cataloging everything, I remember my positions like this very specifically. If you're just cataloging all the good and bad that they did for the entire year, and then at the end of the year, you draft a review based on that. Now, can you have an annual review based upon miniature reviews along the way? Absolutely. I would say more regular review or rather feedback, weekly, daily if necessary, depending on the employee, and then change that into monthly and then annually or whatever you fit works with your types of employees is what's going to be best for you and your company. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you need to give more and better regular feedback so that they know how to improve. Gone are the days of doing annual. I would implore you that if you're running a company now, annual feedback is just not optimal. Now, should you do that to the detriment of others? No, the answer is you should be giving feedback. It should be to benefit not only the company, but the employee and yourself. So you should be doing these things as together with that concept in mind. These are all ways that you can help grow and have your first employee and really begin to give them the things that they need to be successful at your company. It's much less expensive to keep a great employee than it is to go find a great employee. Just the time that's lost, the things that go with it. So build on that success. And when you think about it, it makes a ton of sense, and this is true in law, it's true in business, but an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of care. But in this case, an ounce of effort in building a positive experience for your employees is worth that pound of difficulty that it takes to find a new employee and to train them and to do all of these things all over again to build them into the rock star that you're hoping to build them into. Now, is this going to work on every possible employee? The answer is no. There's never going to be a perfect employee, and it's never going to work for everybody. But if you do this consistently throughout as an employer, you're going to find that it's going to work substantially more often. And if you need specific tips, leave them in the comments below. If you have specific tips on how to build a company culture, mentorship or reviews, I would love to hear from them. So please leave those in the below as well, because this isn't me in a vacuum. I want to hear from you and to know how I can best help you, but also how I can share that with my listeners and my watchers, viewers, so that they can be uplifted as well, right? So we can, high tide lifts all boats. So if you've gotten value out of this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like, and know that we go live every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m., except for holidays. Have a good one.